Our Lord's Sermon on the Mount, explained by Saint Augustine, chapter 15. But it is rather that statement which the Lord himself makes in another passage, which is wont to disturb the minds of the little ones, who nevertheless earnestly desire to live now according to the precepts of Christ. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother, and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he can be my disciple. For it may seem a contradiction to the less intelligent that there he forbids the putting away of a wife, saving for the cause of fornication, but that elsewhere he affirms that no one can be a disciple of his who does not hate his wife. But if he were speaking with reference to sexual intercourse, he would not place father and mother and brothers in the same category. But how true it is that the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and that they that use violence take it by force. For how great violence is necessary in order that a man may love his enemies and hate his father and mother and wife and children and brothers. For he commands both things who calls us to the kingdom of heaven. And how these things do not contradict each other, it is easy to show under his guidance, but after they have been understood, it is difficult to carry them out, although this too is very easy when he himself assists us. For in that eternal kingdom to which he has vouchsafed to call his disciples, to whom he also gives the name of brothers, there are no temporal relationships of this sort. For there is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, but Christ is all in all. And the Lord himself says, for in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. Hence it is necessary that whoever wishes here and now to aim after the life of that kingdom should hate not the person themselves, but those temporal relationships by which this life of ours, which is transitory and is comprised in being born and dying, is upheld. Because he who does not hate them does not yet love that life where there is no condition of being born and dying, which unites parties in earthly wedlock. Therefore, if it were to ask any good Christian who has a wife, and even though he may still be having children by her, whether he would like to have his wife in that kingdom, mindful in any case of the promises of God, and of that life where this incorruptible shall put on incorruption, and this mortal shall put on immortality. Thou at present hesitating from the greatness, or at least from a certain degree of love, he would reply with execration that he is strongly averse to it. Were I to ask him again whether he would like his wife to live with him there after the resurrection, when she had undergone that angelic change which is promised to the saints, he would reply that he desired this as strongly as he reprobated the other. Thus a good Christian is found in one and the same woman to love the creature of God, whom he desires to be transformed and renewed, but to hate the corruptible and mortal conjugal connection and sexual intercourse, i.e., to love in her what is characteristic of a human being, to hate what belongs to her as a wife. So also he loves his enemy, not in as far as he is an enemy, but in as far as he is a man, so that he wishes the same prosperity to come to him as to himself, viz., that he may reach the kingdom of heaven rectified and renewed. This is to be understood both of father and mother, and the other ties of blood, that we hate in them what has fallen to the lot of the human race in being born and dying, but that we love what can be carried along with us to those realms where no one says, my Father, but all say to the one God, our Father, and no one says, my Mother, but all say that other Jerusalem, our Mother. And no one says, my brother, but each says, respecting every other, our brother. But in fact, there will be a marriage on our part as of one spouse when we have been brought together into unity with him who has delivered us from the pollution of this world by the shedding of his own blood. It is necessary, therefore, that the disciple of Christ should hate these things which pass away in those whom he desires along with himself to reach those things which shall forever remain, and that he should the more hate these things in them, the more he loves themselves. A Christian may therefore live in concord with his wife, whether with her providing for a fleshly craving, a thing which the Apostle speaks by permission, not by commandment, or providing for the procreation of children, which may be at present in some degree praiseworthy, or providing for a brotherly and sisterly fellowship, without any corporeal connection, having his wife as though he had her not, as is most excellent and sublime in the marriage of Christians. Yet so that in her he hates the name of temporal relationship and loves the hope of everlasting blessedness. For we hate without doubt that respecting which we wish at least that at some time hereafter it should not exist, as for instance, this same life of ours in the present world, which if we were not to hate as being temporal, we would not long for the future life, which is not conditioned by time. For as a substitute for this life, the soul is put, respecting which it is said in that passage, if a man hate not his own soul, also he can't be my disciple. For that corruptible meat is necessary for this life, of which the Lord himself says, is not the soul more than meat, i.e., this life to which meat is necessary. And when he says that he would lay down his soul for his sheep, he undoubtedly means this life, as he is declaring that he is going to die for us.